Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
In this week's episode of the podcast, Talks Mrs. Q, Kirok cheats on this week's game releases, and I talk about playing video games with your hoo-hoo. And welcome back to another episode of the BRG podcast. I am your host, Warp Jester, along with my wonderful, my beautiful, my still wonderfully available for the right price cohorts, Kirok.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
And tonight we've got another special guest who's been on here before. You've seen him, you love him, a DDF Toxic.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. So welcome, guys. We appreciate you coming back. For those who don't know, PRG Podcast is a gaming podcast where we try to take an hour to go through and talk about some interesting and relevant gaming news topics, info bites, rants, raves, everything in between. And we try to get that crammed into an hour whenever possible. That doesn't always work out very well, but hey. Nonetheless, Talks, my friend, my buddy, my pal. How
Hi.
are you?
Good.
Just good?
Just good.
Just good. Everybody's always just
good.
What you been up to?
Yeah. Gaming, making music, gaming. Got a new computer.
Got it.
Gaming.
Awesome.
More gaming. It
Like
runs
people
Doom.
get new computers all the time. Panda just got a new computer.
Runs Doom.
I had a GTX 650 in my old computer. Boss recommended Doom 2016 to me, and that computer won't run it, so I got a new one.
that is so typical of gamers. It's like, yeah, you know what? I really want to play this game, but this is not going to really cut it. So, new computer time.
Yep.
Yep.
It's kind of typical of
Good luck for Skyrim.
Okay. But will it play Crisis? Only real gamers understand that.
Now,
Huh?
what video cards in your new computer?
I got a GTX 1070.
Nice.
Ooh,
Yeah, good stuff.
not bad.
I could even go VR if I really wanted to, but I'm not sure if I'll do that at that
Yeah.
point. But that was another thing.
It's
I was thinking
fun.
of. Oh yeah, I believe it.
It is really fun. I've played a bit over at House Nexus with where Seshi and Viesti and all them are.
Yeah.
And strangely enough,
still just with
I
my
haven't had a chance to do much more of it, but
cardboard. Whoops, that's not in frame.
very nice, very nice. So anyways, guys, we got a really good lineup of news tonight. A lot of news bits will be blowing through. We've got esports with Nacho this week, so we'll be seeing what's going on in the esports world. And tonight's topic is actually going to be about gaming nostalgia. So we're going to talk a little about
Like
kinda, like Doom, among other things, and just kind of talking about. I'm going to guess games we've played as well as kind of stuff that's led up to it. And there's kind of modern things now that have come out that are signs that show that people really do like game nostalgia, which is, it kind of makes sense because people of like my generation who grew up being kids playing old consoles are now, you know, the age where we want to have the nostalgia and have the pocketbooks to make it happen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I know exactly what you mean.
so yeah, so we're talking about that tonight. So on that note, I guess we should probably just dive right into it. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get into the speed bites, and to start us off, we're going to talk about an exclusive from Reuters saying that Vivendi to accelerate expansion in video games and advertising. Basically, the long story short here is French media giant Vivendi, which we all know and probably don't love. These are the guys that try to do a hostile, possibly going to do a hostile takeover of Ubisoft. Actually did take over Gameloft, which was I don't know, a subsidiary, but they were related because the brother of Ubisoft, his brother had Gameloft. But anyways, they're basically trying to settle down their investors because Vivendi's stocks have kind of flattened out or dropped a little bit. So they're talking about how they're going to be ramping it up. Basically, the way these systems work is you buy other companies to make yourself look better. Does this mean that Ubisoft is in the crosshairs again? Stay tuned to find out more.
It's my prediction. Remember, it's my prediction. No Nintendo at E3 this year once again.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, Polygon reports. But you know what? This isn't anything new. Nintendo hasn't been at an E3 since 2012. They've been relying heavily on Nintendo Directs or that format to get to their customers and their fans and their, loved gamers. I actually don't mind. I watched their last Nintendo Direct, and I think it was really good. I was very satisfied with it. But there you go. They're not going to be at E3 this year.
Is that my cue?
Yes, Tox.
So Nintendo is introducing a Nintendo 2DS XL. According to Ars Technica, it's like a 3DS except without the 3D.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just looking at Warped. Warped's like, oh god. Oh.
You invited me.
No. I think it's okay.
It's another piece of hardware. I don't get it, but okay.
But they're moving away from the 3D, and that's apparent from the Switch. So
yeah.
So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which just came out, it's already been out since when you guys watched this episode for a few days, and it's already the best-selling physical game in 2017 on Amazon, beating out Breath of the Wild as well. Actually, they're saying that the two top-selling places on Amazon are PlayStation Store gift cards for $10 and $20. This is a re-release Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's Mario Kart 8, which was released back in 2014 on the Wii U, but it's re-released now on the Switch as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and the Deluxe means it basically contains all of the DLC that was released back on the Wii U.
All on a little cartridge?
Yeah, so essentially they've just ported the game over, but I imagine because it's Nintendo, they're doing a good job of it, so it looks really well. There's a few people at work that have already been playing it, and then they say it looks amazing and the game is fantastic. But the main thing is this game is selling like hotcakes. People are loving it. I'm not going to buy it. It's just not my thing. I love Zelda over this. Like, I would play Zelda any day over this. So
what we need to do is have it digitally downloaded, because apparently we need to have a Netflix-style option for gaming, or at least Phil Spencer from Xbox believes so. And it's actually kind of interesting, because what he's saying basically is we need to have something that's like Netflix, where you can, all you can eat, rent games, but you don't keep them. And it's kind of interesting. One thing he did actually point out that I find interesting is, as he put it, it would also potentially change the way games are made, allowing developers to launch games online and then expand and develop them over time, which is not really like Netflix in that sense, but it would definitely be a different architecture, and I wonder how that would play out.
That made no sense. That update thing. So the PS4 is selling pretty good. What have we got here? 60 million PS4s have been sold worldwide to date.
That's quite a bit.
That's what, 4 years PS4 has been out now?
Yeah.
And for perspective, can't speak. The PS3 sold 80 million units lifetime, and that's been about 10 years now. So we're only 20 million away.
Not bad.
That's pretty good. It's obviously beat out the Xbox One in this generation, so. Yeah. This is actually pretty cool, and this, like, for those of you out there who have ever played Animal Crossing, there's and you'll enjoy this. There's a streamer by the name of Cold Eggman that 100% of the game in just 22 hours and 49 minutes. So. Yeah, well, I say that because it's no small feat. Those of you who have played it, I love the game. I played a New Leaf, and they had the older versions. One of the things, though, this article says Animal Crossing. It doesn't specifically say which one, whether it was the latest or not. But consider this. For those of you who have played it, And no, that means completing everything, collecting every item in the game, finding all the fish, finding all the fossils, all the bugs, gyroids, upgrading your entire house, including Tom Nook's store, donating every possible item to the museum, collecting all the villager statues, and even building the extra bridge. That last one, building the extra bridge, I think was a feature put into, but don't quote me on this, on the latest version, which was a new leaf on the 3DS. So this leads me to believe this is a reference to a new leaf, but I could be mistaken. It's impressive, to say the least. Like, I say bravo, Cold Egg Man. Bravo. Very well
Jesus
done.
Christ.
Like, in 22 hours?
Speedrunners are very popular.
Like hours.
Our own Boo from Bar Rocket, he's done speedruns that have garnered a lot of views. They're very, very popular, so
okay.
I guess more power to them. Hey, remember GameStop? There are three things GameStop wants investors to know about video game retail market. Here's the thing about GameStop is, even with the success of the PS4, and the Xbox One in its own right, not so much the Wii U, sales have been rather flat or lackluster in the hardware division, and this has been felt by brick and mortar stores like GameStop. But GameStop goes on, even after noting that, to say that in spite of that, we have a positive outlook on the coming of the Scorpio and the Nintendo's Switch sales. So it's like, yeah, these powerhouse systems have sold like hotcakes, but we really haven't been doing well with them. But we've got new ones coming out, and that's going to go great. Yeah. To quote Monty Python, I'm not dead yet.
This actually refers back to an article we talked about last week. It was in our main topic. Atlas apologizes for the Persona 5 streaming guidelines. So basically they said, look, we're sorry we made some of you feel threatened about how hard, we said no streaming beyond this date, no recording or this and that. And now they've said they now basically have asked streamers to not stream beyond the date of 11/19, so November 19th.
Yeah, or we'll take your channel offline.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, we're so sorry. But don't do it beyond this date, otherwise you're dead.
We're sorry we came off that way. It wasn't handled well, but we still will ban your ass in a heartbeat.
I thought I was mishearing you there. So a summer camp aimed at young women is coming to a place called Lafayette. Did I mention they're making video games? I think I forgot that part in my sentence. I'm doing great.
The point of this is it's a camp devoted to girls making video games, and this happens to be local-ish to me, being Lafayette. But the thing I want to encourage people is there are a lot of these type of camps across the world. So do a search, find these kind of things. There still is a discrepancy in women in gaming dev, and quite frankly, I think it's a good thing to bring them to the forefront, because it's not one of those things that everything has to be equal. It's just if girls are the same, great. There's more staff out there, more people that have great ideas. If girls are different, then great. We have somebody who's going to bring a different perspective to games. So it's a win-win no matter how you look at it.
Cool.
So
in Gadget Reports, Call of Duty World War II official trailer released, and this is pretty cool. The developers are actually quoted saying that they used Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers, those two movie series, one was a movie series type thing, as inspiration for the game. So this game looks fantastic. Watch the trailer. I want a really good campaign, and if it's going to be based on anything along the lines of Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers, I'll buy it. Not for the online multiplayer, just for the campaign. I'm there.
Hells yeah. All right, one last gaming-related news bite, which is the $160 Bluetooth Kegel exercise lets women play phone games with their pelvic floor. I know it sounds a little strange here, but it literally is a device you insert in your hoo-hoo to play video games. I honestly, I add this because it's a little bit funny and kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. But in all seriousness, this is actually a beneficial thing because Kegel exercise is important for women. Things like childbirth and other things can cause issues, and it makes for problems for them. So having something that helps with strengthening those muscles is important. And if it's can be gamified, people tend to be a little more religious with it. So, I mean, joking aside, this is actually a pretty cool invention in that regard.
Does it have force feedback?
Oh,
I mean, it's three guys here talking about it, but and shut up, Kirok.
Sorry, I had to ask. 6-axis?
It's great tech. Speaking of tech news,
yeah, it's also speaking of nostalgia, the prize for X Prize, I actually don't know what X Prize is the closest thing to a Star Trek. What does that say? Tricorder, yes. I actually haven't watched that much Star Trek, so I'm not sure what a tricorder is, but
it's that tool they use to like. Oh, you have a broken arm, broken bone.
Oh, that thing. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's really cool then.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, actually. So, in media news, Wonder Woman is truly wonderful. The movie actress Gal Gadot recorded her stunt scenes in this movie. I think it's the latest one that's coming out. I don't know how many there are. While she was 5 months pregnant.
This is not Wonder. This is Bad Idea.
No, but come on. She's like a tough woman. Like
Here when you're there.
Yeah, like so. What they did to make it work is they actually took her armor and they cut out the tummy section, and then they had a green fabric over it, and they pretty much edited out in post later on. So when you're watching that movie, Warped, when you go to watch that movie, just remember she was doing all those action stunts while pregnant.
With her belly hanging out.
I think that's fantastic. I think that
wraps up our speed bites.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nachopanda, and this week we are going to be covering more esports and esports related stories. Yes, that is right. We're going to be covering some League of Legends articles, and we're going to go recap the spring split finals in both Europe and North America. So let's get into it, guys. Alright, guys, and in our first story, we're going to start in the North American spring split finals because that was probably one of the most hyped matchups in League of Legends for the spring split. And we have Team Solo Mid going against Cloud9. Now, these two teams, like I've said before, are powerhouse teams. They've built from the ground up. They are super, just insanely good. They have such a great team built around them, and they went head to head, and by God, they did not disappoint. Now, this matchup, obviously, it was like super exciting, but TSM came out the gates guns a-blazing. They actually took a 2-0 lead starting out. Now, most teams in this point would be very defeated, very deflated, trying to come back, and not Cloud9, man. They came back, and they, at full desperation mode, came back and almost reverse swept TSM. Now, that's insane, first of all, that a team goes down 2-0, comes back, wins the next two games, but not close games. They blew TSM out of the water. They just outplayed them. They had better team compositions, so they were able to synergize their players and their champions that they were playing as to just stomp TSM. But in the end, TSM really, they buckled down. They played a solid Game 5. They just ran away with it, securing the Spring Split Finals Championship. And you know what? They deserved it because both of these teams, really, they deserve to be there. But this time, TSM took it, and by winning that, they actually secured 90 points towards the World Championship that will be happening later on this year, I believe in October. And they got an invitation to Mid-Season Invitational, which is kind of like a small tournament that goes on between the spring split and the summer split. So you will be seeing them very shortly. I believe they will be playing in a week or so. So make sure to check that out, you guys, because that is chock full of great teams, and I think it'll be really exciting. But congratulations to Team Solomid for their win in the spring split, and Cloud9, you still got summer split, so try harder next time. And to move over into the European LCS, we're going to cover the finals between Unicorns of Love versus G2 Esports. Now, this was another very exciting matchup because Unicorns of Love they're fairly new to the scene. They've been around for a couple years now, but G2 Esports is just in that same category. They're a very new team as well, but they have been far more dominant, and it's shown through in this matchup as well with Unicorns of Love. They actually ended up taking a 3-1 win in the championship, in the spring championship for the European LCS over Unicorns of Love. Now, I think this was a great matchup too, because these two teams have a lot to prove. They're very young. They've made some roster changes, but they, for the most part, have stayed pretty dominant in their respective categories. But I think that G2, they are really ready to make another strong run in Worlds this year, because they did last year, but they were just short of really shining. So, you know, it was unfortunate for Unicorns of Love because they only took one game away from G2, and that was in Game 2. So they had the opportunity to really spark plug their team and just go on from there. But G2's dominance is just undeniable. So they were able to take the 3-1 win in the European LCS Spring Split Finals. This was also securing their third straight LCS title. So last year they won the Spring and Summer, and they won Spring again. So with Summer just around the corner and MSI coming up very shortly, you know, there's a lot to prove for them and to continue to prove their dominance in their region. But we'll have to wait and see, because I think Unicorns of Love will make another strong showing in the spring split. Also, those teams both earned points towards Worlds next year, or Worlds at the end of the year. So that would be G2 earning 90 points towards the Worlds Finals, and Unicorns of Love earning 70 points. So, you know, good luck to both of those teams, and congratulations to G2 Esports for their win in the spring split. Alright, you guys, that's going to wrap it up for this week in our esports coverage. Like always, if you guys have any other games or esports that you want me to cover, make sure to comment below so we know what you guys like. And also, make sure to follow me right up here on my social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. So make sure to check that out, you guys. Thank you so much. It has been my pleasure. I'm Nachopanda. We'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace.
Alright guys, so getting into the main topic tonight, again, we are talking about nostalgia, gaming nostalgia, and this is, which we've actually talked about gaming nostalgia before. You guys have heard some of my favorites, but I wanted to kind of talk about the gaming nostalgia. What is nostalgia? By definition, you can see on the screen what nostalgia is: a state of being homesick, or in this case, wistful or sentimental yearning for something. Yeah. Us remember the old days. This is kind of critical because kids of the beginning of the gaming era, the Ataris, the Nintendos, we're all growing up now. We have our own pocketbooks. We tend to buy stuff, and this is very, very prevalent. To start off with, to kind of give you an idea, look at PC emulators. Now, I say PC emulators from way back. I mean, in the late 90s, early 2000s, Cosmic had an emulator called Nesticles, like a little pair of testicles that was play like Excite Bike and all those kind of things. So that was, you know, kind of a thing. That progressed. We also have people who just get, you know, basically get the emulator and download the ROMs for it. But you have people who will get ROMs for all these different games. As a matter of fact, one thing I think we've talked about in the past is Internet Archive actually released a boatload of ROMs on their site for people to grab and play with. So you can get a whole bunch of old emulators and games for them, basically. So that was kind of cool. In addition to that, people started doing the kind of roll your own emulators with Raspberry Pis, for example. You see, we have here the Nintendo kind of Raspberry Pi packed into a Nintendo case kind of thing. I see people who do 3D prints of it. So there's a lot of people make active use of actually creating replicas and whatnot. There's even a big deal of people who actually update, repair, or refurbish their old consoles. There's on Instructables, which is a great website. You've got the Atari 2600, mod it from the original coax only output to RCA outputs. It's a little more compatible with modern TVs. A lot of modern TVs still have RCA outputs, and I've actually even seen mods now that actually output to a HDMI signal.
Yep.
So you can do a lot of that. This holds true for a lot of things, including the developer, a German developer who's trying to revive the Dreamcast, which is, I think, one of the most awesome systems out there by a wide margin. I loved the Dreamcast to death, and I haven't seen this adventure go anywhere, which is really too bad because it was a pretty damn great thing.
I missed that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, and even more to that, there's actually people for quite a while now. If you go to eBay or other places, there are a bunch of knockoff systems that can play multiple cartridges. Like, for example, the Retro N5 here, they can play cartridges for Game Boy, NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis. Thank you. Those kind of things. So I mean, there's a lot of systems out there. Retro inspired games. This is another interesting thing. Is there's a lot of fan funded kind of retro inspired games. To give you an example, a really popular one is Shovel Knight. Everybody loves Shovel Knight. That's a very big side scroller throwback kind of a game
too.
Is it now? Well, there you go. So
that's news.
Very popular. There's also Mighty Number 9, which had a lot of fanfare and also subsequent really bad reviews. But this is definitely an homage to Mega Man in that sense. So, again, these are all great examples of fan loved things. Here's a completely fan made, fan loved Pokemon game that was 9 years in the making. Totally not legit. They don't have the right to the IP for it, but they made it anyway out of sheer love for the game. Another example is kind of a retro inspired game that Tox actually put in, which is Legend of Grimrock. Sorry. Again, this is explain this to me real quick, Cox.
Yeah. So Dungeon Master, released in 1986, is very space by space, because you don't have full 3D worlds where you can move around in back in that day. Legend of Grimrock does that same kind of thing. All your movement in that game is space by space, and it's got the same kind of combat
puzzle
system. Yeah, it's got all the puzzles and the battles and all that kind of stuff. It's a dungeon crawler like Dungeon Master, but it also has the space by space, which I think is kind of cool. Kind of a throwback to when you couldn't move around.
So I mean, this shows you that this is a lot of, and it's kind of funny to say this, but it literally is, again, my generation. I'm in my 40s now. We grew up on these kind of games. I know Tox is a little younger, I know, but but these are the games that we grew up originally, and graphics like this were a big deal. Even graphics like Shovel Knight, back in the day, were like, holy crap. It was a big deal. You look at Atari games; they were very basic. They were literally 8-bit basic renders. So things come a long way, but there's a lot of throwback games that are very, very popular. I mean, even things that are simple visuals now, people kind of look at with some kind of nostalgic mood. Even like Minecraft, even though Minecraft doesn't really have a old school analog to it,
right?
It has that kind of basic graphic feel to it. So people really get kind of excited about it. And manufacturers have taken notice. I mean, let's talk about the NES Classic that nobody can get and Nintendo's no longer going to make.
Sold out everywhere, man.
And you can still get them. They're on eBay for hundreds of dollars. It's ridiculous. And to be quite honest with you, I say don't do it. Don't buy them because I don't like feeding these trolls personally. But anyways, there's this that's going on. And then there's also the fact that there's rumors now that they're going to do a Super NES Classic Edition as well. Which, again, I wasn't nearly as married to the Super NES, to be honest with you, as I was the original. But whatever. But, I mean, this is cool. But even mainstream manufacturers are aware of this nostalgia and they're cashing in on it, to be quite frank. I've even seen like the Atari joystick. The joystick itself had like a plug for your TV, so everything the Atari could do and then some is inside the joystick with all the games inside the joystick, and you play with it. So it's a big deal, and it's funny because I've seen articles that have praised nostalgia and saying that it's good that people look back at these old games, part to get inspiration, part to learn. Sometimes the best way to make a game when you're coming into the world, becoming a developer, is to emulate old games because it gives you a framework to work from. It's something to kind of get your head around to work with. It's kind of like the old days of you learn how to draw by take some time to trace and learn features. Yep. You know, same kind of concept in that regard. I'm not saying that people who do old style games are copying or tracing anything else. No. It's just it helps us with the construct of how we do it, and then going forward they start making their own content. So it has a benefit. Now that said, there are also articles out there that will bash all over nostalgia, how nostalgia destroys games. But the fact of the matter is a lot of the stuff, a lot of things we're attached to about the old games, that is rooted in kind of the basis of a lot of things we have. Oddly enough, the things we love about old games, a lot of times the things they did actually were built around the limitations of the game. We thought those were cute and quaint and wonderful. Yep. And games have those limitations built into them when they're nostalgic games.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of really neat stuff out there, and I really encourage people to check some of the stuff out if you're ever curious, interested, because it's really, really cool stuff. Now, that said, I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about our nostalgia. And Kirok, I want to start with you. Yeah. Because you got some pretty cool games that are kind of your childhood.
Yeah. So for me, basically, I never had an NES. I never had Super NES or Atari or any of those. I was at that time. I'm a little kid. I'm not making money, so I can't go out and buy these, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember I would be like, I want. And my dad would like, nope, nope. So I vowed that at that point I would buy whatever game system I wanted once I was working, making my own money, and so on. So I did get to play games on computers over the years as I was growing up, but my first true console or gaming experience was the PlayStation 1. Actually, I had a 3DO before that, but I consider the PlayStation 1 the one that opened the door. And I had a few games on there that I've listed here. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of them.
It's a good
Love that game. Just to give you an idea, here, look, check out these. It's a PSP. Ooh. This is the original with the little thing that pops out, right, and takes the UMD disc. There's the UMD disc.
Very cool.
And that's Final Fantasy Tactics. And I'm addicted to this game. If they release Final Fantasy Tactics for the Switch, I would be there. Let's see if this thing turns on. I haven't turned this on for years.
So what other games were you attached to?
It turned on. Coming on from there. On the PlayStation, I also got into Myst. So Final Fantasy Tactics, I liked it for
Myst was fun.
Cartoony thing. But Myst was the first puzzle game I really got into. And it's one of the reasons why when I first got exposed to VR, I bought VR because I want a Myst type game in VR. Yes. That's what I want. But Myst was great. Took me a month to play the game. I had a little textbook full of information, a little puzzles that I was doing, and it was me and a buddy of mine playing it. And we would have the phone lines open on speaker mode and talk and go, I'm going over here, I'm checking this out, I'm going over there. It was so good. So good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Tenchu was another one. It was my first kind of experience in a stealth kind of game, even before Metal Gear Solid, let's say. Loved it. It was old PlayStation 1 graphics. You were a ninja, and you get to go on these missions and infiltrate. And the beauty of it was you could go anywhere you want and attack the problem in any way you wanted. And you could go up on the roofs and have nobody see you and go in and do stealth kills and come back out. And this was back in the day, man.
This is before the concept of open world.
Yeah. And the last one I put down was Doom. The original. Doom, this game on the PlayStation, I loved it. I loved it so much, I would take it over to my buddies, and you could do the link cable between the two PS1s, two TVs, and we'd play each other. We would do like a deathmatch.
Well, a few people actually did it.
But just like I stink in FPS games today, I stank back then, and he would cream my ass all over the place. But it was still a fun game. I still had a great time. So
awesome. Yeah. That's really awesome. Docs, you've got a huge list.
I do, yeah. I actually have I kept a whole bunch of old CDs that I used to play as a kid, and they're just kind of sitting here. So I kept coming up with ideas. But to start off with, Dungeon Master, the game that I already talked about. That's kind of one of my first games that I played back on the Atari ST. But then after that, it was a whole bunch of the late 90s first-person shooters. So like I missed the early 90s era, like Doom, the original Doom, and Duke 3D and all that stuff. I missed that stuff, but Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, I got into that one real big. Half-Life, I don't have a disc here, is another big one. And shortly before Half-Life, Shogo Mobile Armor Division. That's a bit more of an obscure one.
So I had a kind of... It looks similar-esque to this one. It was a PlayStation game. I can't remember the name of it, but it looks kind of like this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then back out of obscure, we got StarCraft Brood War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brood War was an expansion to the original StarCraft.
Yeah, so StarCraft.
I have some fond memories of that game. I still think and love. I still think that StarCraft is one of the best RTSs out there. I will still play. I will gladly play the old version, StarCraft 1 with the Brood Wars expansion any day.
And they got that update or that
re-release. They're re-releasing.
Yeah, the re-release
the
of that coming up. Mm-hmm.
And they got some ones I've never heard of.
You haven't heard the rest of my list? This one's a puzzle game, The Incredible Machine 3.
Yep, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Kira's heard of that one. I played that one quite a bit. Lost Mind of Dr. Brain, another puzzle game, another Sierra one.
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, that one a lot of people have heard of.
Heard of it, never played it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I was always running out of money in that game. There's the disc. And then there's this one's super obscure. Jumpstart Third Grade, kind of a kid's game. Like I played it in grade 2, and I really don't know what I did with that disc. But like there's like school related challenges, like to get into this one door you need to do some sort of math, and
gotcha.
I'm completely blanking on other grade 3 subjects, so I can't remember what else you need to do.
And Marble Drop?
And Marble Drop. Yeah, another puzzle one. Actually, I think I have a disc here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Basically, you put marbles into different funnels.
Yeah.
Pick a marble, and you want different colors marbles to get to the bottom. In the correct spot for that marble color. So you gotta follow the track, figure out which one is gonna land.
Almost maze-like.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, you've heard about some of the games I played in the past, but just a kind of a refresher of sorts. One of the early games I played on the Apple IIe was Lode Runner. This is a weird, fun game. But actually, it was absolutely color.
I've never played it, but
it was a fun, kind of silly game. Then my cousin, who owned that at the time, or his father did, they upgraded to an Apple like 2LC or something like that. Yeah. And so we played Sim City, and we're talking like, you guys want to see a good picture of the colors of it. It was
I can't wait to see this.
It was horrible is what it is, but it was awesome. I love that. Spy Hunter was kind of an arcade game that I used to love and play way too much of. That was an absolute blast.
I remember that one, yeah.
Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, I can actually give credit to this game or these games as being the entry that got me into computers, because I went from borrowing a friend's computer all the time to play these games to my friends literally dropping a cardboard box full of parts in front of me saying, "Here, build your own damn computer." Literally. And I still have that. I've shown you guys in the past, but I still have that PC. I'm still looking for the video card to complete it. I'm going to try to get XP running on it again. And another one is Unreal Tournament. Played many hours of Unreal Tournament. Loved it to death. My favorite first-person shooter.
Yeah, that was good.
Real good Twitch shooter. And of course, EverQuest, because EverQuest was a foundational MMORPG that really kind of set the pace for a lot of things. Anybody who wants to piss all over it's fine, but if you play like World of Warcraft or anything else like that, you can give a lot of credit and thanks to EverQuest really pushing this forward. Yes, there are the games before it like UL, but this was the thing. So that is our kind of rundown of our nostalgia and give you a little idea behind what nostalgia is. I hope you guys like it. I really want to hear from you guys and hear what was your nostalgia. What was the games that you loved to death? What got you into it? Tell some stories about what happened. I mean, I Diablo, me and Cosmic used to play it until the sun came up and went, oh crap, we forgot to sleep again. So I'd love to hear your stories, guys. I'd love to hear about the games you play. Please do let us know. And that's going to wrap up our main topic tonight.
Okay, guys.
Last week I missed the video game releases, so I figured this week I'll go back and kind of pull out the ones that I think are worth mentioning and present them to you all in one breath. Here goes. April 25th, Siberia 3 is coming out. It's coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is a narrative story-driven with puzzle-type game. The original game, this is 3, right? So the original game came out on PC in 2002, and then the sequel, Siberia 2, came out or was released in 2004. I have both of these myself, but I haven't had a chance to actually play them yet. Damn those Steam sales, because that's where I get all the games that I get. It's crazy. Siberia 3 is definitely one of those that is on my list to get. It looks like something that's a little more intelligent and a little more involved, so I'm going to give that a shot. Also on April 25th, Outlast 2. This game is a horror game. The original one came out a couple of years back, 2015, 2016 maybe, and it is a survival horror. Outlast 2 is coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and it's a creepy, gory horror type game that you gotta have the you know what I'm talking about to play it. And one of the aspects that this game had was you would be in a lot of dark areas, so you would have to use the camcorder to look around and see where you are. Because sometimes if you didn't have that camcorder going, it would be pitch black and you wouldn't even know where you are. So it became a battle in finding batteries and keeping those batteries charged, keeping that camcorder going with those batteries that you kept finding. Because once those batteries are dead, you throw them out and you have to have others keep going. For me, too scared, no thanks. Also on April 25th, Batman Arkham VR. So Batman Arkham VR came out originally on PSVR. It was a pretty popular title, especially for someone who loves the superhero theme and superhero game, plus being put in VR. This game did pretty well in the PSVR. It was a bit on the pricey side for the amount of time. I think you can actually finish the game in about 2 hours. If you're a completionist, you probably spend about double that time. But if you're a Batman fan, and oh yeah, I forgot the biggest part. It's re-released now for Oculus and Vive. Oh, Vive. Yeah, I don't know. I might get it. A friend of mine who has it loves it. He says it's really good, specifically for the fact that you get so immersed in the world in Gotham, and that's why it's really cool. Last one that I missed was April 28th, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So this is for the Nintendo Switch. It is coming out, because when we're recording this, it's not out yet. Basically, it's the same game that was on the Wii U, ported over to the Nintendo Switch, but it's called Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because it has all of the DLC that game came out with on the Wii U. So in one nice little neat package, you can get everything. It still has the fun, competitive, corny, dorky little characters as always. You can play as Mario, Princess Peach, Luigi, Link, Bowser Jr., and there's a ton more. All I got to say is let the games begin. Well, that was last week's stuff, but let's get into this week. May 3rd, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the 3rd. This is the 3rd iteration in the Legend of Heroes series. It's coming out on PC through Steam. It is a good old-fashioned Japanese role-playing game. I actually have the first. The second one is Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky SC. Can't remember what the SC stands for, but the game was really fun. I didn't play it fully or in its entirety, but it's one of those traditional turn-based Japanese RPG with multiple different quests and a pretty good meaty storyline that you can sink your teeth right into. I've played it on, I actually have it on Vita and I have it on Steam, the first one that is, and it's great. I think you guys should take a look at it, watch the videos, maybe watch some Let's Plays online, decide for yourself if it's something you'd like to get. And for May 5th, Prey. A lot of people have been waiting for this game. This game is being released by Bethesda. It is coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It is a first-person action-adventure type game. I'm going to read this right from their website. Hostile aliens have overrun the Talos 1 space station, and you must use mind-bending powers and unique weapons to decide the fate of humanity. When I watched the video, I had like these flashbacks and these I was like, wait a second, this is just like what's that other game, Half-Life, and then sure enough, the main character in this game, his name is Morgan, Gordon Morgan. Regardless, the game looks fantastic. The game actually looks like it's a high quality first person shooter, and I think as long as it has a really good storyline, I'm there. I'm probably going to get this game. Check it out, guys. And that brings us to the end of another week of game releases. Thank you for joining me, guys.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for this evening. I want to start off with saying thank you, Talks, obviously for joining us tonight, which we really appreciate. But also, I want to give a big thanks to Talks because Talks stepped up and started taking an active presence in being staff for us. You actually take care of the website things for us.
I do. As much as I can take care of that website.
It's a non-standard website. We don't use the what's a popular one we were gonna go
WordPress.
To? WordPress. Yeah, it's not WordPress because WordPress doesn't quite work for us. We tried to go with 2.0 and it didn't really work all that well, so we kind of went back, and Talks has been managing ever since. So thank you so much, man. Yeah. It's a huge help, and it's really appreciated. Mm-hmm. So what's up with you, man? What's coming up?
As far as public stuff goes, I am still working on an album, and it's a hobby that I get to every once in a while, but I do also have personal programming projects that I've been really into lately. But on my YouTube channel, there'll be eventually I'll make another Rocket League montage. But the big thing is Shattered Travels.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been doing Shattered Travels, and I don't have any more footage of that right now, but those are really fun to edit.
Oh, really?
I've been having a lot of fun try to make it seem like we knew what we were doing. But it's BRG, so
yeah.
Know that.
Pro tip: if you ever watch a BRG video, it looks like we know what we're doing. It's really, really good editing.
Yeah. My Hill. Maybe sometime if I feel the need to make a video, I'll make a video in that world, or any other video if I feel like making a video. Mm-hmm. But as far as My Hill goes, I do also every 2 or 3 weeks. I like to stream that to Twitch. Just kind of doing what people tend to call off-camera work, but just in case something exciting happens.
You got it.
Yeah. Plus, this stuff tends to be kind of boring, so. Really, I'm not going to be offended if you're not paying attention to what's on screen. Come hang out, chat with me in the chat. It makes it funner for me too.
Well, do you put yourself on either Discord or TeamSpeak audio so people can join you that way, or are you just it's just you yourself and that's it?
On my personal channel, it's just me myself. Though I have been also streaming to the BRG channel. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm logging into the Camaro server, I always jump into the TeamSpeak there. But for my own channel, I decided I wanted to keep the chat in the chat. Right. Because if there's multiple people there, then they can. I didn't want a big bunch of chatter going on in voice.
Talks doesn't multitask very well. So you do have a Twitch channel. You do some stuff on there as well, but then you also Talks is our primary streamer. When we see stuff on the BRG Twitch, it's usually coming from Talks.
Lot of melee. Yeah.
If I ever get a chance to actually get on there and play a little bit, I kind of dropped in and it's like, frick, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I love the new server to death. It's just it's that sacrifice of we've taken a pre-established pack, modded it a little bit to fit better. Ruark basically took I think it's a Hermit Craft pack and basically improved it by taking out a lot of redundancy and just streamlining it, which is great.
Yeah.
But one of the short points is it doesn't have Railcraft, which pains me greatly because I love playing with Railcraft.
Oh.
I'm one of those people that loves to do group things for people, so I'm kind of a hard time figuring
your Railcraft. Both of the two of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a project and a half.
And you also do music, as you said.
Yeah, I also do music. If you're looking for any of my music, you can find it on Jamendo.
Train Ride to Game Town.
Oh, yes. Is that like up top or something?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun one. That's actually kind of what got me back into music, because I used to make music like 10 years ago or something. Mm-hmm. And eventually I just wasn't happy with what I was making. And I tried a few times to try again, and I didn't come up with good stuff. Yeah, and Train Ride to Gamestown was that groove. Like, immediately after that, I wrote Gamestown theme, which was like 7 minutes long, which I didn't expect. And it's like, okay, I am really into music all of a sudden.
Nice. That was fun. That was back on the MA server, which I love dearly. I actually was thinking about it today, because they have a service that you can actually print segments of your world. I'd love to scrounge up and get running the MA server, just so I could get whatever we need from it for a company to do a 3D print of the different segments of that world.
Good lord, that was a huge moth.
Anyways, guys, you can keep up with Talks on his Twitch channel, so I definitely encourage you to head over to, Twitter channel. So twitter.com/ADDF_toxic. You can keep connected with him.
Yeah. If I have anything exciting to say.
If there's something exciting to say. Sometimes with Jabber. Honestly, it's like anything else with BRG. If you really want to connect, come over to Discord and yell at us there. Kirok, my friend.
Yes.
There's that active YouTube channel again.
Yes.
Anything coming up for you?
At this point in time, I don't have anything concrete, but I'm looking into VR mixed reality, what I need to do that. However, it won't help if I don't actually put content up, so I've been kind of switching over to like a new regime, carrying paper and pen, to-do list, but I've been kind of keeping it short, 5 to 6 things must accomplish in a day. BRG podcast on there. Yeah. And yeah, so the whole point of that is to try and get me back into the flow of doing things, getting things done. And I'm going to sneak in starting to record, either stream, record, or VR. So I'll have stuff to put on my channel.
Very cool. And go ahead and
cut
film right here and then say, so what's going on Project Singularity? And insert.
We had a game night and I hopped on. Actually, I hopped on and
you talked all night with Walden.
Yes, he was there, but also Crane came on. Crane's been little Crane. He's been playing Elder Scrolls Online's like crazy. And I have the game, so we both hopped on. We didn't get a chance to play, however, but we got a chance to meet in game. We got a chance to talk about it over TeamSpeak. So I might that WoW thing that I had going on, that might just fall by the wayside, and I might start going into the ESO. Only because I have a friend that I know that I can play with. So
World of Warcraft ain't
maybe put some video up of it. Very cool.
Yeah.
And of course, you have a Twitter account as well.
Yes.
So guys, keep connected there. See, it's nice and clean. Just you always go to Twitter, you find all of us there. It's wonderful. Guys, usual drill with me. I've got some new content coming up still. It's all World of Warships. I do need to get some new content ramped up, though. Again, I'm going to try to get some time to edit some other stuff. I will get there eventually. And if you want to look for some alternative stuff to play around with, I do have content for my Warp Moto vlog. I'm now a little bit behind. I need to get some new stuff up because I'm a week out now, and I need to get new things edited. But again, it's a shitty moto vlog with a shitty camera, so you want to hear me jabber over wind noise, this is the place to go. And I'll try to get some more stuff up there. I'm trying to look into a new camera now, actually, so maybe I'll find some new stuff eventually. And again, I do have a couple Twitter accounts. One is Warp Jester MC for my gaming, which right now just pumps out the updates when the releases come out, and just Warp Jester, which is kind of dead right now, but hopefully I'll revive it at some point. The bigger way, again, always the best way to get a hold of all of us is going to be through the Bottle Rocket Gaming website, bottlerocketgaming.com. This is where we post all of our updates, news, whatnot, events that are coming up, and so on. Of course, you can also go to our Discord channel. We do have an open main channel there, and if you join us, you can become part of the group. We also have a couple additional channels you can jump into and hang out with us. If you guys want to help us out, as always, we really do appreciate you guys joining us. We really, really love getting a chance to talk with people, and I definitely encourage you to stop by. Hit the like button if you're into what we're doing. If you have recommended improvements, great. We always want to listen to those. And of course, if you want to keep up on what's happening, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'll keep pumping them out for you, give updates. We have, again, still stuff in planning, but, slow process. We'll get there. We all have a day job, so it takes time. But if you guys want to help us out, doing the like and subscribe thing helps us out. Giving us a shout out on whatever media site you operate in, be it Twitter, be it Facebook, be it whatever, that always helps us out as well. And of course, you want to take the armchair approach, you're certainly welcome to donate on our Patreon account. Again, we have Patreon accounts from $1 up to lots of dollars for everything from a thank you to a t-shirt and more. We really do appreciate that funding. Again, all this money goes back into the BRG group. We pay for servers. Well, we don't pay for servers. I as a board member pay for the servers, but we do fun events, fun extras, and so on. So stay tuned for new things on that as well. Anyways, guys, again, thank you, and thank you. We really do appreciate it, and we hope that we see you next week. We don't know who we're gonna have on just yet, but I'll try to find somebody to talk with me since I believe Kirok is going to be not here. So
I'm out.
And Tox is right out. Anyways, guys, have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a good life.
Oh my god.
Welcome.
Willkommen. Bienvenue. How do you get hate mail very quickly? That all-girls team? Pfft, gonna suck.
What?
Yeah, they're a bunch of fucking... I don't know.
You're Canadian. You can't swear. It's like against the law or something.
Why the fuck not? Have you met Ruark?
So I think when we hit it big, Kirok, we're going to have to do our stage thing.
Yeah.
But I think we also need to make that a part of a BRG meetup, have all the BRG together in one place. I'm thinking like your house. What do you think?
Sure. In the backyard.
There you go.
In the winter.
Gonna smoke some ribs? In the winter.
Oh my god, Becky.
Look at her foot.
Look at her fuck.
Smells like the old computer.
Did you say smells like the old computer?
Yeah, I sniffed the fluffy. Quiet on set!
Timer. Quiet on set! And
Hang on.
speed.